Pompeii, the city buried by Mount Vesuvius, is a remarkable window into the lost world of the Romans. However, today, that window is in danger of closing as Pompeii is threatened from all sides. The ancient city's greatest mystery is whether the power that once conquered it is roaring to life again. As one researcher puts it, we are all very concerned that the next time it explodes, we will be right here. These old walls were not built to withstand the storms that are now raging over them. These threats are very real. Professional scientists are now attempting to solve these mysteries against the clock. Using modern technology and scientific detective work, they are spreading across the site to uncover what life was like in Pompeii just before its destruction. The central question remains: who were these people, and what were their last moments like? The Roman city of Pompeii was engaged in daily life in 79 AD. Shoppers were getting their daily supplies in the streets, people at home were preparing for the day, and slaves were working in the city's food industry. The bars were noisy and crowded, and gladiators were preparing for battle. But this day would change these people's lives forever. Looming over the city was Mount Vesuvius, one of the most dangerous volcanoes on Earth. Few realized they only had one day left to live. A bright cloud of volcanic gas and debris began to rush down the slopes of Vesuvius. Smoke, ash, and debris started to rain down on Pompeii. They probably didn't understand what was happening. As the day progressed, more debris fell, sealing doors, collapsing walls, and crushing roofs. People were trapped in their homes and died there. 6 flows of hot gas swept down the slopes, and the heat instantly killed those who survived. It took only 18 hours for the city of Pompeii to be completely buried under millions of tons of volcanic ash and pumice. An entire living city was wiped out, and thousands of its inhabitants were entombed alive. The superheated air burned their lungs and melted their muscles. Their distorted and twisted bodies were quickly encased in the ash. As they decomposed, their bodies left voids in the ground. These hollow spaces were created as the internal organs disappeared, leaving only bones, which are highly resistant to decay. Long ago, archaeologists realized that if they filled these voids with plaster, the shapes of the bodies would be revealed. The casts they created have captivated people worldwide. Pompeii is unique because it shows the emotion of people's last moments, something not found elsewhere. But much mystery still surrounds exactly how these people died. A team of scientists is now studying 15 bodies found together in the eastern part of the city. The strange poses of these bodies intrigued the team leader, Lawrence, Alabama. He notes, "It's very interesting how they found the bodies, because we find several groups of 3, 4 people together. It looks like they may have died trying to help each other." Using modern high-tech science, scientists are potentially on the verge of solving this 2,000-year-old puzzle. To do this, they have taken X-rays and high-resolution images of the bones within the casts. They can see the teeth to learn about diet, and the morphology of the pelvis to determine sex. Age can also be determined by bone growth. One cast is particularly well preserved. Lawrence has already uncovered personal details about this man's life. They know he was between 25 and 30 years old. The young man also had a military sword, leading Lawrence to believe he was a soldier. Lawrence is now trying to give him a face. By creating replicas of the preserved parts and filling in the less detailed parts, the result is a moving and fascinating living image of the young soldier entombed 2,000 years ago. Lawrence has found the man's face, profession, and age, but the larger mysteries remain. What were the last moments of him and the other victims like? What was Pompeii really like on the day the ash fell? Wind, rain, and the 3 million tourists who visit Pompeii each year are destroying the site. Archaeologists state that the sheer number of visitors is a threat. Leaning and rubbing against walls and picking up items are all problems. After centuries of exposure, the city is also under threat of potential landslides. A major landslide could bury Pompeii's delicate structures before they reveal all their secrets. In light of these new threats, scientists have launched an ambitious plan to create the first 3D model of Pompeii. This will create a virtual copy of all the main buildings, monuments, and houses that will last forever. Architect Raphael Martinelli and his team are undertaking this massive task, documenting over 2,000 buildings and miles of complex streets, from the ancient Forum in the west to the ornate villas in the north and the huge amphitheater in the east. The 3D model is crucial because it allows us to see where we are and what the current situation is, Raphael says. This is the most detailed and complete digitization of the entire 66-hectare site. The team uses sophisticated, high-resolution laser scanners that measure over 1 million individual points per second, yielding extremely detailed data on the buildings. By combining the scanner's work with computer programs, the data creates a living 3D model. Research at Pompeii today wouldn't be possible without massive leaps in technology. Tools like tablet computers and cloud technology allow archaeologists to access and record all their data in the field, right next to the excavation. Cutting-edge technology is also challenging conventional wisdom. The Quadriporticus, a large building in the south of the city, was long believed to be a gladiator's barracks. Professor Eric Callahan, who has worked at the site for almost 20 years, was skeptical of the building's true use. His research showed it was elegantly constructed and decorated, with even the latrines featuring remnants of beautiful wall paintings, too opulent for gladiator barracks. Eric is now using a handheld structure sensor, a versatile, portable tool that captures 3D detail of the site as it maps the structure. The scanner found a main sewer line in a wall cavity, giving Eric vital information about how this infrastructure was built without having to excavate. The evidence suggests the latrine was an addition and that the sewer line was diverted to accommodate it. This, combined with the quality of the decorations, supports Eric's theory that it was not for gladiators. He believes it was likely a public space, possibly a market building. Beyond the mysteries of Pompeii's buildings, another team is fighting to uncover the secrets of a lost library of ancient manuscripts. This was found in Pompeii's sister city, Herculaneum, which was also buried by the Vesuvius eruption. In the mid-1700s, treasure hunters found what looked like burnt charcoal but was actually charred papyrus scrolls. Experts hoped they contained lost classics of ancient literature, but the remnants crumbled at the slightest touch. Dr. Manuel Brunn has been given special access to the scrolls. They are using a machine called a Synchrotron in Grenoble, France, to try and see what is hidden inside the scrolls. The delicate papyrus carbonized so quickly due to the massive heat wave from the eruption that scientists believe the script inside is effectively sealed. The synchrotron generates X-rays that hit the scrolls near the speed of light. When they pass through the papyrus and encounter the inked sections, they are deflected, leaving an image that scientists can read. The ink is carbon-based, making it nearly identical in density to the carbonized papyrus, but the synchrotron is hoped to be able to differentiate the two. Already, some fascinating words and phrases have begun to be revealed. Dr. Brunn says, "For the moment, we have isolated 2 words, which in English translate to 'they will fall' and 'they will tell.' Now we can try to look inside and maybe discover a new text that was lost 2,000 years ago." Wine, food, and traffic. Other research is unlocking the secrets of the Romans' favorite pastime, drinking wine. Cedric Durand, who runs a vineyard in Provence, France, is attempting to reconstruct the wine served in Pompeii at the time of the Vesuvius eruption using ancient texts and pictures. He discovered that Romans liked the taste of oxidation in their wine. They enjoyed the flavor of old wine. Not all drinking happened at home. The city had many street corner bars. Dr. Sophie Hay describes a typical Roman bar as part of a very vibrant culture, especially at night. People would come here after work and gamble. Gambling was illegal in Pompeii, but the law was not strictly enforced. Professor Eric Callahan is also working on the city's street network. The large stones placed across the street were used to protect feet and togas from the dirty water running down the road. Eric's detailed analysis of the roads found that some corners were banked outwards, which helped traffic turn right more easily. By mapping 500 such locations, Eric made a groundbreaking discovery, a form of traffic control that had gone unnoticed. He created a digital record showing that ancient Pompeii had a system of known one-way streets. Pompeii had 12,000 inhabitants, but thousands traveled into the city because it was home to one of Rome's most important buildings, the colossal amphitheater. This was the oldest amphitheater known in Italy and the first structure built of stone. It was a 20,000-seat amphitheater, far more than the city needed, as it served the surrounding region. The seating arrangements were strictly hierarchical. Women and slaves sat in the back, and the city's elite in the front. They all loved the gladiatorial games. Ancient graffiti suggests there were two types of gladiators: the retiaris, who fought with a net and a trident, and the murmillo, who fought with a small sword and a large shield. The precious frescoes and wall paintings on the walls of Pompeii are rapidly deteriorating. Past preservation efforts, such as the use of wax and oil, have caused more damage. Now scientists are using laser technology to save them, carefully removing dirt from the walls. This extraordinary technology has brought wall paintings at places like the Villa of the Mysteries back to their original glory. Scientists are also looking for clues underground. Archaeologists are examining the dirty sewers and drains, as Pompeii's sewers may hold the answers to questions about the citizens' lifestyle and what they ate. Researcher McKinnon is sifting through ancient garbage, uncovering a picture of the Last Supper of Pompeii's doomed citizens. The remains found in one latrine show it came from a rich feast, including songbirds, which were a delicacy, plenty of fish, sea urchin, and shellfish. There were also pig bones. By analyzing the teeth, McKinnon found the highest concentration of very young pigs. Pigs less than 2 or 3 months old were a delicacy in Pompeii, enjoyed by the wealthy. This paints a picture of a feast enjoyed by the city's richest individuals. Scientists are now aware of a new danger, potentially catastrophic landslides within the city. Rain washing down from Vesuvius is starting to move huge mounds of unexcavated earth, threatening to collapse the buildings and monuments they are mapping. They are monitoring these landslides using the Italian space agency's Cosmos SkyMed satellite. This system is backed up with wireless sensors that send alerts for the slightest movement of the buildings. Still, the biggest threat remains Mount Vesuvius. Volcanic activity is monitored 24 hours a day from an observatory in Naples. The current emergency plan is to evacuate 600,000 people as soon as the volcano shows signs of waking up. The use of technology for documentation and the physical preservation of Pompeii are both deepening our understanding of this fascinating ruin. There is a city here that is collapsing, but an effort is also underway to save it. Should this site be lost, we will lose the single largest place of the past. All this new technology, which is documenting this fascinating city, will soon provide an incredibly detailed virtual view of Pompeii, a world that neither Mount Vesuvius, nor wind, nor rain can destroy.